You open your eyes in total darkness. Your face is only a few inches away from a cold steel wall, and the first thing you notice is what is missing. There is no sunlight coming through a window, no sound of birds outside, no way to know if it is morning or night. You reach for your phone out of habit, but there is no signal, not because the internet is bad, but because there is no sky above you. You are not inside a building or a bunker. You are hundreds of meters below the ocean's surface, inside a nuclear submarine. Above your head is a massive layer of Arctic ice, and below you is an endless ocean that could crush you in seconds. You probably imagine this life differently. You picture secret missions, dangerous battles, and commanders making impossible decisions. That is the version movies show you, but the real life inside a submarine is much stranger. Because most days are not about fighting. Most days are about surviving inside a machine where every breath depends on technology. Every meal you eat, every hour you sleep, and every moment you spend awake depends on systems that cannot fail. You slowly climb out of your sleeping space. The small metal bed where you spent the night is called a rack. Calling it a bed feels generous. It is a narrow shelf built into the wall, designed to save every possible centimeter. Your shoulders almost touch the sides. Your knees are close to the ceiling. There is barely enough room to move. But this is actually one of the better parts of submarine life, because some sailors don't even have a bed of their own. On certain submarines, crew members share sleeping spaces in a system called hot rocking. One sailor finishes a long shift, another sailor immediately takes the same bed, and the cycle continues. The mattress doesn't really belong to you. It belongs to whoever is resting before the next mission begins. You leave your sleeping area and step into the narrow hallway of the submarine. The first thing you understand is simple. Space is the most valuable resource here. Every inch has a purpose. Pipes, cables, machines, and equipment fill almost every available space. Nothing exists just because it looks good. Everything inside this steel tube has one job: keeping humans alive. You walk carefully through the corridor because hitting your head is almost normal here. The ceiling is low, the walls are close, and there is always another machine around the corner. A submarine is not designed like a house. It is designed like a giant puzzle, where thousands of pieces must fit perfectly together. Every valve, every cable, and every piece of equipment exists because removing it could affect the entire system. Then you notice something strange. You have no idea what time it is. There is no sunrise changing the color of the room, no sunset telling your brain that another day has ended. There is only artificial light reflecting against metal walls, creating a world completely separated from the surface. Your body was built to follow the rhythm of the planet. Your brain expects light during the day and darkness at night. Scientists call this your circadian rhythm. It is your body's internal clock that controls sleep, energy, and alertness. But hundreds of meters below the ocean, that natural clock starts losing its strongest signal. The sun no longer tells you when the day begins. The submarine has to create its own version of time. Bright lights simulate daytime, dim lights simulate nighttime. Your entire routine depends on artificial signals. The crew follows a strict schedule because without structure, your mind slowly begins losing track of reality. 6 hours working, 6 hours maintaining equipment, 6 hours sleeping. Then the cycle starts again. The same walls, the same machines, the same artificial days. You continue walking until you reach the control room, the place where the submarine's entire world is monitored. This is the brain of the vessel. Hundreds of screens, instruments, and controls surround the crew. Every person here has a responsibility. Every reading on every screen tells a story about what is happening around them. But the most important ability of a submarine is not what it can do, it is what it can hide. A submarine survives because it disappears. It moves through the ocean while trying to become invisible. Above the surface, ships create enormous waves, and aircraft leave visible traces across the sky. But underwater, the battle is completely different. Here, sound becomes one of the most important things in the entire ocean. A small noise can reveal your location. A careless movement, a damaged machine, or a loud pump can become a serious problem. That is why every person inside the submarine must control their actions. Silence is not comfort here. Silence is survival. The ocean outside is enormous, but inside this steel cylinder, every sound feels much closer than it should. A door closing, footsteps on the floor, a machine starting somewhere in the submarine. Everything becomes part of the environment. You begin to understand that this is not just a vehicle moving underwater. It is a complete artificial world built inside a metal tube, a place where humans must create everything they normally receive from nature: air, water, heat, food, energy. every basic need must be produced, controlled, and protected. Deep inside the submarine is the system that makes this possible, the nuclear reactor. Unlike traditional engines, a nuclear reactor does not need oxygen to burn fuel. It can produce enormous amounts of energy for long periods. This energy powers the submarine, creates electricity, provides heat, and allows the vessel to remain underwater for months. But energy alone does not keep humans alive. The reactor can move the submarine through the ocean, but it cannot replace the things your body needs every second. You still need breathable air, you still need clean water, you still need food. And inside a sealed metal environment, every one of those things must be carefully managed. The air around you is constantly being monitored because your own body can slowly make it dangerous. Every time you breathe, you release carbon dioxide, a gas that becomes harmful when it builds up inside a closed space. On land, carbon dioxide disappears into the atmosphere around you. Inside a submarine, there is nowhere for it to escape, so special systems constantly remove this gas from the air and keep the environment safe for the crew. Other machines help maintain oxygen levels, creating an atmosphere where your body can continue working normally. The submarine is basically creating its own version of Earth inside a steel shell. It creates breathable air without forests, fresh water without rivers, and light without the sun. You are living inside a tiny artificial planet traveling through one of the most extreme places on Earth. You leave the control room and walk towards the kitchen, expecting something similar to emergency food. But the reality surprises you. Submarine crews still eat normal meals prepared by cooks inside the vessel. There are scheduled meals, familiar foods, and moments when the crew gathers together. Because food is not only about keeping your body alive, it is one of the few things that reminds you that you are still human. A warm meal can break the feeling that you are just another person operating a machine. But even food becomes a challenge when you live underwater for months. Storage space is limited, and fresh supplies cannot last forever inside a submarine. Slowly, fresh fruits and vegetables disappear, replaced by frozen, preserved, and stored foods. After enough time below the surface, your brain starts missing things you never appreciated before. The smell of rain, the warmth of sunlight, the feeling of wind touching your face. Things that seem ordinary on land become valuable when you cannot reach them. But the hardest challenge of submarine life is not the ocean outside. It is not the darkness, it is not the pressure, it is not even the machines keeping you alive. The hardest challenge is your own mind.
That was today's Life a Day. What life should we explore next? Thanks for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this journey, leave a like, subscribe, and join us tomorrow for another incredible life story.